Hey, this is Joel from PSI Screen Printing. How you doing? I want to start making a series of videos for you guys just to answer a whole bunch of questions that we get consistently asked every day when people want to get their t-shirts printed. So we find that over time people start asking the same questions, so we're continually having to give the same advice and lead people in the same direction. So we figured if we can create some video content for you guys that answers all these sort of frequently asked questions that we get, then you can come pre-armed with all the information you need to get everything rolling. So we do a lot of work for t-shirt labels, startup t-shirt labels especially, not necessarily bigger, more established ones. And we often get them coming with the first range, and in that first range, in a desire to look big and established, they create a mass of different designs. So they'll come to us with a first release range of 12 or 15 designs because they want to create the appearance that they're established and they've done well so far, and hopefully use that to get more sales and get a foothold in the market a little bit quicker. Now, while that thinking could be on the right track, there's a whole bunch of things that makes that doing that a really high risk place to start. Basically, what you're doing when you're creating a whole bunch of different designs is almost creating a whole bunch of extra problems for yourself starting out that you perhaps don't need to expose yourself to until perhaps later on down the track. And then later on down the track, when you do expose yourself to those, it's a lot easier to handle them because you're established, you've got your supplies chain established, you've got your retailers established, you've got your basically all your range established. So the first problem that can create coming to a printer with a whole range of designs, that is a large range of designs, is number one, it's going to really increase the price per item that you print. If it's your first print, you've obviously got setup fees to pay with your screen printer, and when you divide those setup fees over 12 or 15 designs, let's say they've got an average of 2 or 3 colors each, what you're going to find is that you're paying a whole bunch in setup fees. So let's say 12 designs, 2 or 3 colors, you're looking at upwards of $400-500 per design. In total for setup fees, which can even eclipse the cost of the t-shirts and the printing sometimes, because the next problem that leads to having so many different designs is the fact that you probably haven't got the budget to allow you to get enough shirts per design to reach your quantity price breaks that you want. So let's I guess compare different scenarios there. So in the scenario we'll be discussing, you come with 12 or 15 designs, you might only have the budget to get 10, 15, 20 shirts printed per design. So that's got two problems. You've only got 10 or 20 shirts to divide your initial setup costs over, so that $200 to $500 can only be divided over 12 lots of 10 t-shirts, which is really going to increase your per item cost dramatically. The next thing that also does is it doesn't allow you to get to quantity price breaks where you see a reduction in pricing on your screen printing itself. Which usually comes, I use an example of getting 10 or 20 shirts, usually comes at 50 shirts, 100 shirts, 200 shirts, where your volume price breaks normally jump in. So problem number one is you're paying a lot more per item because of decreased volume to split your setup costs over, and also decreased volume in print production, so you're paying a premium printing price for those low volume designs. So there are a couple of reasons initially. We were just talking with a client today. Another problem that they had exposed themselves to by coming out with too many designs to start with is they did a sample range. So we printed up 1 or 2 shirts in each design as a sample range, which I'd suggest to get you done every time. It's something that we offer and we can do for you, just have to ask us. But he's printed his sample range, taken it out to the stores, sold it into retail, and what he's found is because the retailers had such a wide selection to choose from in all the designs, he's basically got low quantity orders because all the different retailers have spread their orders out over his multiple designs. So whereas if he had 5 designs, he could have consolidated all his orders and probably got the same volume orders over 5 designs. What's happened is he's created 12 or 15 designs or whatever, and all of his orders, even though it's the same volume as he would have got on a smaller range, they're getting 1 of this and 2 of that and 3 of that. And when you take that to your printer for production, what happens is, again, like we said before, you've got these low volumes per design, which has created an increased printing cost per item. So he's already paid the setup fees, obviously, when he got his sampling done. So that's covered, but then you're not taking advantage of volume then in your production order. So he's limited himself to the volume. And basically that's created a problem where he's not making the margins he'd like on his wholesale price because he hasn't quite got to those volume price breaks to be able to bring his per item price down. So again, you're creating a massive choice for the retailer, or for even if you're selling online to your end customer. Always proven in marketing, the more choice you give people, the less you'll actually convert that choice, because people get to a point where they want to be led by the hand, they want things to be easy, and marketing psychology, when you give them a massive choice, people tend to just put up and go, well, this is too much, I'm out of here. So I guess the advice that you get from your printer is, for your initial ranges, look at increasing the volume per design, decreasing the amount of designs to, number 1, take advantage of volume price breaks. Number 2, take advantage of splitting your setup costs over more t-shirts per design, which results in a lower per item price and basically allows you to make more margin on your first run, which then allows you to expand in your next range and then in subsequent ranges. Look, I think appearing as if you're big to start off with isn't as necessary as people think. I think there's a certain appeal and a certain I guess, desire around a small label, a limited label. Look, getting in from the start, getting in from the beginning, you know, I bought this guy's first range or these people's first range. And I think it's a bit of a misconception that you have to appear bigger than you are. You know, you just need to design with the future in mind, and if you're serious about this thing, making sure that not only you're planning for this first range, but you're planning for subsequent ranges by positioning yourself right with pricing, and also making decisions that allow you to make enough margin on your first range to be able to pay for subsequent ranges. I always say that the best price positioning is that when you wholesale to retail, definitely when you retail yourself online or direct to the customer, then this is probably a lot easier, but especially when you're wholesaling to retail, if you can pay for your t-shirt and pay for the next t-shirt in your initial wholesale price to retail, then basically by the time you've sold your shirts, your next range is covered. So that's what you want to aim for, and to make that easier on yourself, look at creating a lean range with a lean amount of designs, even looking at the number of colours per print that you need to do, which will allow you to take advantage of better price breaks in your printing, better volume discounts on your garments, and allow you to make more margin on your first range when you sell it. So I hope that information's been helpful. You know, we talk to clients about this all the time. So now, hopefully, you're pre-armed. You've come to us now with a better, lot of information to base your first range on. So, thanks, and I look forward to printing your shirts soon.